Welcome everyone to the last session for today. And the speaker we have is Mr. Adesh Jain from India. So Adesh Jain is the chairman of I2P2M and founder of the World Project Management Forum, that is WPMF, and has played a significant role in promoting project management both at national and international level. For his valuable services to the nation in the field of project management since 1992, he was conferred with the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. He's a member of the high-powered task force on project management that was set up by Niti Aayog, that is the organization in India. I'm so happy here that we have Adesh with us today. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Adesh Jain. And Adesh, the stage is yours. You can share your screen now.
I am privileged to address the participants the fourth event, the next normal in construction project management practice. My title today's presentation is Keeping a Project Mindset, the Key to Successful Construction. I'm Adesh Jain. I'm the chairman of the International Institute of Projects and Program Management. It's a non-profit company. I don't know whether Hargeet introduced me or not. Did you introduce me, Hargeet?
Yes, I did. But you can introduce yourself again if you would like.
I thought otherwise I would have avoided. I am very fortunate to have my postal stamp released in 2010 by government of Turkey for my involvement in the global project management movement. I'm also a founder of the World Project Management Forum, was given the prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award in 2014. And I was the president of IPMA 2005-2006. And I'm very privileged to say again that till date, the only non-European president since 1965. I happen to be the former president of ICPMA, and I hold my degree in science, electrical engineering, and master's in control systems from Canada. My early experience in 70s, 60s, late 70s, 60s was in artificial intelligence and large-scale computing. But I can assure you one thing, I am ready to learn anytime from anyone, and I'm a damn good student. I just took a few seconds to give you an introduction of our institute. International Institute of Projects and Program Management is a not-for-profit company. It has revolutionized the management by application at workplace of the competencies developed in our program. We have set up a new benchmark in executive education globally, and is the only Indian company with ISO 17024-2012 accreditation in certificate in project management. I just do one more thing to mention. Our flagship product is Executive Diploma in Project Management, Online 2021, is today extremely relevant to infrastructure industry. EDPM Online covers the varied aspects of skills required to cope with the technological impact on the industry. EDPM provides the participants to realize their vision. This year, the second year of online, though the traditional classroom program was going on from 2011 till 2019, this last year we transformed to online. Our second year, we have 4 batches. You can download the flyer from this URL. And for the ICPMA, we would be working out a spatial registration fee. With this, I have divided my presentation in 5 parts. So as the title suggests, keeping a project mindset. What is a project mindset? What is this all about we are talking? And let me just take a few minutes here to talk about it. I was asked in 1999 August to talk about project management in Stockholm. That has given me a lot of anxiety. That's what I'm going to talk about, project management. The Swedish companies, the ABB, the Ericsson, Bofors, they are very advanced in project management. So I said, let me coin the word project mindset, which could be related to more the mind processes rather than the hardcore project execution and planning processes. So the title was the project mindset, the key to competitiveness. And I'm going to show you out of 28 characteristics of the project mindset. I'm just going to talk to you this evening 5 out of those 28. The first mindset, the first difference between, and let me start with a small clarification. You need both the project mindset and the operational mindset. I think there is a T there, which has been given extra T there. So the operational mindset and project mindset both are required. Project mindset is project success depends on many functions: team, environment, working together, realizing the vision, joy, happy, not under tension all the time. It's a much more a broader perspective, looking at the whole rather than just looking at the parts. Operational mindset will be just a quadratic equation: ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. There are two roots, x1 and x2, and one is profit, cost, and the other is time. This is all now obsolete. This has no room today. In fact, this is obsolete 40, 50 years ago. So in project, this is no more relevant, but still quite a few, in fact, many projects are still struggling because of the cost and time pressures. Somewhere, something is going wrong. You've got to look at that. We have to look at larger perspective. Where are we failing in deciding what the plan, what project should we take at the early stages? What are we doing? Are we looking holistically, or we are just rushing? There are many reasons. I may not be able to share more ideas, but let's see how it works out. The other point is anti-credentialist. Project mindset doesn't care where the authority lies. I apologize for the copy paste from my colleague, the T extra, please do not see that. So anti-credentialist is what ideas you're sharing. It doesn't matter what background is. In fact, background should not be more than 5 seconds. The ideas which being shared, new ideas coming from any source, could be young, less experienced, more experienced. It doesn't matter what the source is. What the quality of the water which is coming is more important. Anti-credentialist. Whereas operational mindset looks at the stamp of the authority. But in this case, when I compare these two characteristics, make no mistake, we also need credentials, we also need anti-credentialist. For creating discipline, we need credentialists. We need stamp of authority. Who has responsibility has more authority. So never look at this A or B, project mindset or operational mindset. We have to look at these two characteristics, and depending upon the project life cycle, at what phase you are, the prominence of one of the two will be very heavy. Third, project mindset, new encounters. We are living in comfortable zones. We live in the area where we are comfortable. Our past is going to decide the future. What we did as a precedent, we are going to see the future based on the past. Extremely dangerous, fatal, and not going to work. The 100 trillion neurons, the networks which we form, synapses, it's very difficult to disconnect the old synapses. Disruption has to take place in the mind, in the way we think. Continuity may not be the ultimate successful way of dealing with the uncertainties. The obsolescence of the experience is extremely rapid today in the technological age. What we learned 5 years ago is no more valid. And that would apply to every industry. as you will see little later. So my friends, it's very important to try to innovate, to see new things, to find out what we can do in looking at the same situation, not from the traditional way. But that doesn't mean we will keep on thinking in new ways without moving forward. A combination is important, an innovative, an open mind, a mind which is based on learning, and not just saying that what we did successfully is going to be the strategy for success in future. Extremely dangerous mindset. Out of 100 companies in 1901, over the top 100 companies, at the end of the 20th century, there was only one company which survived. So therefore, the competitiveness, therefore, the way you do innovations, the way you look at future is not based on past. And here it is more conventional, repeat encounters, similar situation many times. The future is changing, therefore situation is changing. How can you apply, except in the technological front, the scientific front, where the truth is not going to change, but here we are talking about mind process in dealing with the new situations. Another characteristics, just to show you, there are many scoreboards, many ways of saying what KPIs are. There are many ways of saying how did we, what did we do about the project? Did we succeed or did we fail? Based on what indicators? The many scoreboards. And this is the only problem. And this is a major issue at the global level. If you're only looking at the short-term myopic view of destroying the planet because you look only profit as the sole objective, and that's going to destroy the whole civilization. A very short-term, narrow view of a universe which is infinite is not going to work. Will never work. Optimization of one part is not good when you look at the whole. So I would say when there's a project or a program or portfolio, you got to look at the early stage of looking at the holistic part, many scoreboards, and you have to look at these non-linear equations to balance it off. Very, very important. The climate change, the environmental issues, the renewable energies, the things, how do we make construction industry more safety, health, more in terms of technological infusion, because that's going to be more important. How do we reskill our construction workers? How do we bring AI in our construction? So this is a very important part of looking at the overall holistic. Primarily, the way I look at it, project mindset is more holistic. An operational mindset is very important, but it is very focused to a part. You want to make sure your work package is delivered absolutely within time, cost, quality, with maximizing stakeholder satisfaction. That is a part. You need that. So it's a mixture of the two. This is again the mind maps. Just to conclude this part of the presentation, change based on new mind maps. The mind maps are not, the number of years of experience is no more relevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. Somebody says I have 40 years experience, means nothing to me. If I myself say I have 55 years of experience, Mr. Adesh Jain, you're dinosaur, you're obsolete. And I say, yes, I am obsolete. But what is not obsolete is desire to create new mind maps, learning new things, encountering new things, trying new ideas, bringing new things in the whole. So, these mind maps, these changing mind maps, new mind maps, success creation based on possibilities, future-centric, new mind maps. So in less than 2 months, the World Project Management Forum, I'm not trying to brag about me, our executive diploma program with the George Washington University since 2011 was all classroom traditional. With the pandemic, what happened? all the project management, team excellence, world forums, everything went for a toss. In less than 2 months, we created this studio. As a project director of this, either we survive or we close the door. The new mind maps, new technology, what can we do? How can we do? And we created a EDPM online with astounding success, 203 participants from 6 countries. And we did all the transformation in less than 6 weeks, from June 1, from May 15 to June 15, 4 weeks. So this is required, not that, and still we have to go a long way. I'm not saying we have done something on a scale of 10. We have created the new mind map, maybe with 3 or 4 or 5, created a benchmark today at a global level. But we have to learn more, we have to perfect more. The mind maps cannot be stationary. The stationary mind maps is like a pond. The water is smelling. So I think this is a metaphor, but I think this, I can talk for days and days on this. It's my favorite topic. The other one is the conventional change based on existing mind map. Whatever we have created, the synapses, understanding, appreciation, team building, working together, whatever we have, if we live only on that, not living in the new reality, it will not work. Second part, alignment, the key to construction. Alignment processes customer, contractors, consultants, and external parties is the fundamental rule number 1 in realizing the dreams, in awakening the dreams, in realizing the vision. Christina was saying about vision realization. I'll talk about it. That is the key. Vision, the common vision, and how do we realize the vision. So the alignment part here, everybody has a different way of looking at what we want to do. The motivation level varies, the understanding varies, the misunderstanding varies. Everything is diversified. How do we align that? Challenges to construction industry. Shared vision, like Christiana talked about, vision. What are we doing this and what for? And goal clarity. I mean, what is the ultimate goal, 3, 4, 5, or whatever it is. The second is project leadership. How do we be transparent? How do we make people to work together, to enjoy, to explore their potential by practicing into real life? Commitment and cohesion among partners, between the customer, consultants, and the contractors. In the Indian context, which I can talk about, which is true worldwide, but I think everybody is a partner. We are not a customer, or I mean, it's the word contractors, or it has to go towards partnership. Partnership gives you pleasure and joy. We're all partners to realize the dream. And there are a lot of conflicts take place, which you will see later in my slide. And major challenge to us is problem forecasting. There should be a certain amount of time which should be allotted to always look at the scanning part, what can go wrong. It is the same plan A. We're not talking about plan B at all. As very correctly mentioned, you do not dissipate your energy into secondary level. Concentrate, focus, laser. All the energy goes in channeling your energy to achieve the aim. Forecasting is very important. Changes are phenomenal. Unpredictable changes. It's not a probability anymore. It is a possibility. So we have to understand that. And how do we adjust that? I would just show you a very interesting, I was a principal consultant to a $1 billion project, oil and gas, about 20 years ago, 17 years ago. I was asked to train more than 100 people of these clients, customers. Without naming the name of the company, they said, I want 5 days to you to go and share the ideas across 8 and refinery units. And I refused. I said, I'm going to do the program of 5 days, no problem. If you have customer and you're the customer, if you have contractors and the consultants also to be in my class. And I do not want people to be customer on one side, contractor on the other side, consultants in between. I do not want that drama. I want everybody to be in the alphabetical order. I want total intermingling. The executive director of a customer could be with the engineer of the contracting companies. The whole anti-credentialist system should work because our aim is to create DSDS, less sulfur in our petrol in less than 14 months. Very massive project. So the me first, if it comes, that I am going to do first, me only, the contractors are not involved, consultants are not involved, everybody sees things differently. Contractors have to protect their bottom line. Consultant will see how will they take the commission in between in terms of professional fee. The divergence of these three conflict of interest is going to be non-deliverable. It's going to end up in arbitration, disputes. Dispute is the first symptom effect of a disease called me first. Conflicting interest. No, not allowed. Let's sit down together. Let's understand. We should appreciate each other's concern, each other's way of working. Each one wants to make money, sure. Let's do that. And of course, in my case, 1 into 0 into 0, I said about whether before accepting the consulting assignment of teaching and implementing, I said 1 into 0 is 0. The very fundamental class 1 mathematics. I want to convert this into the alphabetical orders, people sitting in my 8 refineries that I went. I said customers, consultants, very simple, contractors, all aligning their ideas, all sharing their views, how to move, how to innovate beyond the contractual conditions. It's the guiding line. We have to go beyond the contractual conditions. Successful competition, we all win. Harmonizing interests as a team, as a whole, IC3, integrate customer, consultant, contractors. IC to the power 3. It became a slogan in this company. One of the Fortune #1 company, #2 companies in this region. 1 into 1 into 1 only is 1. Now let me just talk about a little bit on the macro front-end efforts. How much time should we spend? If we come down to construction industry, it is also true, as well as any other industry, including IT industry or the other industries. Now, I was involved in the World Bank study some years ago to find out, World Bank in Washington, DC, to find out what are the characteristics of the good projects and the bad projects. And they were infrastructure projects by and large. And the report which was published, I cannot share with you, but certainly in a very nutshell, the efforts versus time is a 30 months, 30-month time unit. Mature economies, better projects managed, people who have understood the importance of project planning, front-end efforts. They put more efforts in the beginning stages, designing pre-construction activities, more efforts here. The execution is relatively, the second half is less. If it's a normal distribution, it's a beta distribution, you see the front end is skewed towards the left side, and left side is front end, pre-construction, planning. Whereas in the transition economies, where there is still fighting for cost and those AX squared kind of running around firefighting, there is a more emphasis, less emphasis in the beginning, more time spent in the later part of the execution. Firefighting. So I think the two parabolic shapes, you see the left side is more towards front-end activities which we need to do. This is my book, Assorted Thoughts on Project Management, which was released. It has about 80 ideas, 28 in a graphical form, and one page, each has one page write-up. And I just said in my book that level of uncertainty is y-axis. When you take up a project, uncertainties are high. Y is very high. And x-axis is time. So in the beginning itself, the green part, if you rush, if you don't bring project mindset at this time, if you don't bring team alignments, if you don't understand, if you don't have a cup of tea or coffee and sit down in a laughing mode rather than rushing, rather than looking at all the time, this is the time you're losing time. No, you're not losing time. Extra time, initial stages, risk assessment, what can go wrong? If it goes wrong, what we talked about in that presentation, A1, A2, that could A1, A2 will come. You can plan out some mitigation strategies. In this case, if it happens, you're not talking about plan B. You are always talking about plan A. And then I entirely agree with you. Your energy has to be focused on that. But you cannot be foolish and say, look, I don't have to do mitigation. I don't have to see the predictability. What can go wrong? If you do that, you are extremely foolish. The future is not certain. Future is not known. So you, to the best of the knowledge of the team and the leadership, looks at the A1, A2s, mitigation strategies, limited to only planning. So this gives rise to project management is integration management. So when you start looking at it a little bit more carefully, with project mindset in view, the uncertainties may go up. Your uncertainties level may go up, Y parameter may go up, because now you are discovering new things. And then, of course, you have a better control, ups and downs, and you can compete in T1. But if you rush in the beginning, like the red, you will have much more stock exchange kind of pattern. The bulls and the bears, they will take care, and you get into firefighting. And we say firefighting is project management. It's absolutely, it's reflecting that lack of green makes you more red. So the constant, green plus red is constant. If you increase green, red will come down. By the way, are you able to listen to me? Okay. Is it okay? Hargeet?
Yes, it's perfectly fine, Adesh.
Okay. It's just the mid-course feedback. The third part, I'm taking this in my 2005, Alan Crane came from UK. We had a first world, very large, with 1,500 people, a world project management, not world, the Congress, IPMA Congress in Delhi, where we have 300 speakers. And one of them was from the Rethinking Construction project in late 90s. Alan Crane came, and I'm showing these slides from that period. Chairman Rethinking Construction, Chair CIOB is very, very well known in UK. Rethinking of UK construction industry. Construction industry was in a very bad shape. So it was backbone of the economy, like all of you know. It plays a very important role, but I think it was in a bad shape. This was a presentation of November 2005 in IPMA World Congress in New Delhi. And out of 861 PPTs, it was 1 hour presentation. I have picked up about 6 of them. Rethinking Construction, a project management summary, drivers for change, committed leadership, not a short term, focus on the customer, product team integration, quality driven agenda, commitment to people, commitment to people. And I think one of the slides, people were saying, I think the Branson Richard, that I care for the people. Because if I care for my employees, employees will take care of the client. People first. And I think there are a lot of things we have to look into this. Customer also is important. And then you go through product development, partnering the supply chain, project implementation, and production of components. goes through that processes, and finally target for improvement, capital cost 10% to come down, construction time 10% minus, predictability, you can predict better because you have more data points. Data point is the key. The larger the data point, the larger the elements today we have, better decision we can make. Defects come down by 20%, no redo, we lose productivity. Why? A lot of redos. Accidents, productivity should go up, turnover and profits. So this is the target, and they achieve that. What we need to do is satisfy the customer. Element barriers, element blame culture, teamwork, and not individualism. Teamwork is holistic. Individualism is parts. Dramatically reduce waste, front-end integrated thinking, and rethinking. Rethinking construction, the project which was set up in UK government, the results were very encouraging. 30% better on time and cost, predictability, 32% better on quality, higher productivity, 29% higher client satisfaction, and 35% higher profitability. This is taken from Fluor Corporation at that time. Main reasons for the execution performance is casual penalties, poor scope definition. Majority is here. Majority is 36% is in initial stages. Initial stages. Somebody wants you to do within this time frame, okay, we'll do it. Not right. We have to have very clear, smart objectives, what we can do. This is very important. Lots segment of the execution performance is here. Poor execution performance in terms of productivity, contractual problems, not well defined. Now, my other part supplementing to this front-end efforts, besides mindset, I'm putting more emphasis in the front side, front efforts. And that is part of the major characteristics of the project mindset. This is taken from the Norwegian. They have this concept symposium since 2004. Every 2 years, they conduct the symposium. They invite 50 people, 50 to 60 from worldwide, selected people. And I am going since 2006. And I do not want to miss these concept symposiums in Norway. Most enlightening, most learning. Last time they could not hold it in 2020 because of COVID. But I look at this, I would say they are the pioneers today in the world in the area of front-end projects. Dr. Semset Nutt was one of the speakers in my World Forum in 2020, but I'm just showing his slide. The center is a project execution part, final report, single loop learning, concentrate only projects alone, single loop learning. What they are doing in Norway, supported by Norwegian government, is what they call QA1 to QA2, front end. The amount of effort they put here is tremendous before they take up the project. They're very important. I would say their projects which they have done with this concept, the front end, they have shown that how can they manage mega projects under the cost and much before time. This is the key. Quality assurance 1, quality assurance 2, what project we need, how do we plan it out, involvement, alternatives. And this is before you take the project, plan A. But once you take plan, and that's it, all energy will go there. And this fits very well to some of the presentation slides we saw earlier. And of course, then goes to operation. And they call this as a double loop learning. Front end and operations get interlinked. And the slide from Concept Symposium 2018 is there is a reciprocal arrangement between the risk and the information. The more information data points you have, the lesser the risk. So they don't rush in the beginning to start the project. They create some kind of break even between the risk and the information, some level. It's a theoretical exercise. What level is this level? But main thing which we should learn, they do a lot of front ending to see that we have understood the whole process and then start the project. Very interesting. And of course, just to show the last slide, results from Norwegian scheme so far. Iron law mega projects, Flyburg's thing is 70% above budget, established truth. Norwegian quality assurance, double loop learning has proven that 70% projects can be under the budget. It's a proven things. You don't have to rediscover. Fourth initiative, which is a little different. So my slide on the uncertainties, the construction industry in UK and Norwegian, a very fabulous model on the double loop, front ending, and the whole World Project Management Forum, which we created in 2019 with a charter. I think the key emphasis there we have put is project creation. Vision realization is in the center. Vision realization. Vision. Visualized benefits is in center, and then come the creation, project delivery, benefits realized. So the WPM of uniqueness is in the front end. Now this I just want to show you German things. My partner in Germany, EPC project team, we are collaborating with him in the EPC 4.0 in matching with Industry 4.0. The question to 80 EPC senior executives in 2019, are you in the comfort zone, continuing the traditional way with continuous improvement, or do you feel the need for radical transformation? Was responded 0 to 80. Virtually everybody in the construction industry here in the survey, they wanted radical transformation. The traditional business model of EPC has not worked anymore. Why we do as we always did since 50 years. We've got to change that. We've got to change those mind maps. We've got to bring in new ways without the bias of the mind, the new ways where we do not get grooved into the past, comfortable zones. Why? That's the reason. Dow Jones Industrial Average, you see they have gone up in the last 2 decades or so, from 2008 to 2018, 10 years, 86% growth. In the construction industry, US related heavy construction index has gone down by 30%. Something basically wrong in the understanding of what they're doing. We got to show and demonstrate that this red becomes green. And I'm now showing this, continuing this. We need to halve the cost of capital projects to enable them to do twice as many projects with the same allocated budget through fundamentally rethinking the delivery model. What is the delivery model? And this Paul von Weir, Shell Global EPC Manager. Next one, if we wanted to get project prices down by 40%, a change in behavior was required. Thierry Pelenko, former CEO of Technique. Human behavior, we need to understand that. Similar to what mind maps I was talking about. Dr. Harari talks about knowledge is useless unless it changes behavior. Dr. P. Harari, Homo sapiens, Homo dos, world-known historian. Behavior. And we feel and quite tremendous amount of challenges to change the behavior, because it will disown the past, which is very painful to disown the past. Prepare for change. The last one in this series, I'm going to show you the human factor, which is ultimately we're talking about. My previous distinguished speakers have talked a lot about human factor, people-related issues, which is at the top of the house. collaborate by partnership, flatten the supply chain, build flexible organizations, focus on core competencies and the opportunities to digitization. Very important, digitization. The construction industry, for manufacturing, the whole thing is going to be digital age. We live in a pure digital age. And what we have seen is only the tip of the iceberg. What is going to come is beyond our imagination. An only 16, 17 years old kid will tell us what the future look like. We have too much traditionalist in our thinking to predict the future. In fact, we are incompetent. The more you have traditional thinking, more it is difficult to predict the future. Extrapolation is not, discontinuity is. Digitization Industry 4.0 is going to take place. This was a part of the presentation we did in 2019 November. Leads to transparency. This is again a great important corporate governance leads to transparency. BIM, blockchain, automation, and AI. Flatten the supply chain, defines new ways of collaboration. Strategic supplier integration, smart contracts. It's not rigid contracts, more flexible, agile way of. The waterfall model today is obsolete. Of course, partly it's true, partly you have to be right, partly you have to be process-driven, right? Everything cannot be flexible. It will create anarchy. So it's a combination. When we talk about it, it's X plus Y is constant. It's the X and Y components are changing. Rigidity and flexibility is constant. Where should you be rigid? Where should you be flexible? Those new areas are emerging and mind should be able to cope with such change. Pay-per use. Team building, ultimate. And this is my last two slides. The team building, ultimately, when we built up columns, when we built up roads, when we built up any infrastructure projects, airports, anything you like, Hong Kong airport projects, $18 billion. And I was very fortunate to be associated with it in late 90s. The project director was the astronaut, Bechtel was the consultant. And how they looked at that part, I'm talking about 20 years ago, some of the important things left a deep imprint on me. Team building, how do we build teams? We need everybody. We need cement, we need iron, steel, we need sand, we need everything to make the columns, to make the future, to make the vision. And that is my presentation. I was very much privileged, again, with tremendous support from my gurus, my teachers, from my people who taught me for the last many, many decades. I was asked to speak on this. Title was mine. The title was more mystical, philosophical, awakening of project consciousness through stakeholders. My emphasis at that time was stakeholders, contractors, customers, consultants, family members, for all stakeholders. How do we awaken consciousness to the project? The idea is generated here, moves on to this to implementation stage, concept to this. And I was saying Michelangelo, he saw Mary there and removed all the dust, all the marble chips out and created the Mary there. So there is a consciousness even in the stone from a very high level of philosophy. Because the vision is clear, the dream is clear. He can see what he's seeing and is discovering that and making it live. And one of the last slide of 41 PPTs that time was this one. The logos have changed. That is because of anything else. Logos have changed, but essence is the same. Emotions, education, emotions, experience, relevant experience, and the expectations among us, between us. E4, 4 times E. Every person in the world has a unique E4. It is like a fingerprint. The challenge is to synergize different E4s to realize the dream, to awaken the dream, and to realize the vision. The master key is compassion for all different viewpoints. A person who is working as a worker in a $1 billion infrastructure, was a very poor worker, he should have compassion. He has a unique effort. He should be as compassionate and as concerned about his safety, as concerned that he should also smile as we smile. And when that takes place, the vision is realized. My cell number, my email, call me 24/7, and I shall respond to you within 24 hours. Else, I may not be available in this molten world. Danke, thank you, mercy, obrigado, shukriya, sashtigals, everything for your attention to be with me. I close my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Adesh. That was mind-blowing, I would say. It was so wonderful to hear from you all the topics about the synergies that we have to mitigate between, not only about the projects, but also between the people and the mindset, the correct mindset that we should have. Because somehow I believe that just by thinking about a vision and writing the goals on a paper, we somehow believe that, oh, we have already achieved them. And we do not really have sometimes a monitoring system to keep checking them all the time to see where are we right now. For example, when presenting a presentation, somehow we just get lost in time because we are so passionate, and then we just lose the time. So I think that the presentation was wonderful, and the insights were how would I say, like deeply, I felt that quite deeply, I would say. So thank you very much. We have some questions in the feed, but I would like to take them in the open round because we have a lot of time in the open round. And yeah, thank you very much. And I hope you had a wonderful experience. We're really sorry that you were not able to see the feed and the reactions from the audience, but I can tell you I was able to see them, and we got a lot of applause on some of the heartbreaking and the comments that you had.
I just want to tell the female president, and I'm very proud of her. And I think she, with her own thinking, as a as the head of the ICPMA president and executive Nick Smith, is a great movement you have created and Brian and all of you who have been making this 4 events successful. My heartiest congratulations to everyone who have been a stakeholder in this whole initiative and drive. All of you have done a marvelous job, and I'm so grateful to each one of you to provide me an opportunity to share some of my thoughts. I hope it will have some impact. Maybe little, it doesn't matter the quantity. What matters is how much little change we can bring to make a bigger difference. Thank you very much. What time are we meeting for the Q&A?
We'll meet in 10 minutes, actually. So we have a 10 minutes break for the audience and for the speakers, yes.
Coffee and
yes,
come
yes.
back.
Yes, please grab a cup of coffee to all of you. Please excuse yourselves, and we'll see you all in 10 minutes in the open round. Thank you very much, everybody.
COVID namaste. COVID namaste.
From my side as well. Namaste, yes. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you in 10 minutes.